Hey guys, it's the Geek here, and welcome back to another unboxing. I have a slightly larger stock of cards this time that have accidentally been slightly opened. I haven't opened it other than knowing that, um, oh, this also right here. It doesn't seem like it affected the card any, so we should probably be good. But I only know that the bottom card is a Chadox, so I'll unveil all of the cards and get that one out of the way. Oh, let's go this way. Don't know why this is so difficult to open. Pass. Alright, so to give you guys a better look at the Chadex, pull it from the bottom. Chadex. We've gotten this card a couple of times, but I'll still read the description anyways. Versatile performer skilled in the imitation of human speech. It is said that older, more experienced Chadex can even understand the meaning of the words they mimic. Cool. So this will be our first surprise card. Was Drift Noon. I actually think we got the evolution of this a little bit ago. If I remember correctly, I thought it looked like a penguin, or at least a balloon looking like a penguin. Set to lure away young children and carry them off to the afterlife, some whisper that Drifloon are formed of reincarnated human souls, but these rumors are as yet unconfirmed. That's a weird sentence. Also, that is super spooky. Although I don't know if it's a evil luring away like Piper Pepper or the good since they're already dead and leading them to the afterlife like Peter Pan. So that one is very questionable. Let me turn this light slightly away from me. Alright, next card. Got a Sudowoodo. Though it pretends to be a tree, it fails to fool even children. To the touch, its body feels more like rock than tree bark. Sudowoodo's extreme aversion to water merits special note. Probably because it sinks if it's rock, feels like rock. Who knows? Alright, next card. Ooh, Rakambi. The membrane of the trio spend all their time together. The members of the trio spend all their time together. Each one has a slightly different taste in the nectar. Kind of like most people's interpretation of Cerberus, where each head has like a different personality. Or that dragon meme, where it's like two are very serious and one's like really dopey. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Alright, next card. Snicket. This gives me very much Kitsune vibes. Especially like with the markings. Alright. Aided by soft pats on its feet, it silently rates the food store of other Pokemon. It survives off its ill-gotten gains. Ah, such a fox. Alright, next card. We have a Hippopotas. Still really cute with the trainer behind it being really mad. It looks like the trainer's trying to catch it. I think there's like a little Pokeball in its hand. And he's just minding his own business. Right, though large and languid, the hippopotas is difficult to detect due to its tendency to burrow into and lurk beneath the surface. When agitated or excited, it expels sand from its nostrils. Alright, next card. We have a Bergmite. This sounds familiar. This is a ice Pokemon with a trainer just staring, probably trying to catch it. No, her hands look empty. So she probably is heard something off to the side and was really scared. That's kind of what it looks like. Lives on mountains blanketed in perennial snow. It freezes water vapor in the air to make the ice helmet that it dons for defense. Okay, if it's wearing its ice helmet, maybe they scared each other. And now they're just going their separate ways. Alright, next card. We have an item of the unidentified fossil. Play this card as if it were a 60 HP basic Pokemon. At any time during your turn, you may discard this card from play. This card can't retreat. Alright, next card. Oh, Dartrix. It looks like a wise elder. I get that type of vibe from the card. Alright. Regularly basking in sunlight to gather power, presumably due to the frigid climate. Nonetheless, the edges of the blade quills set into the wings are keen as ever. Yeah, that makes it sound like a lazy old cat that just like lays around. But if you do mess with it, it will suddenly become very active and destroy your entire life. Alright, next card. We have a Drifloon, which I think was the card I was mentioning earlier. This one looks a little bit less like a penguin from like the art style, but I'm still getting the penguin vibes. Some say this Pokemon is a collection of souls burdened with regret, silently drifting through the dark. Yeah, that's depressing. We'll move on though. Alright, next card. We have a Stantler. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. That is the attack description, not the Pokemon description. That is the ground press, in case you didn't. But either way, its strangely shaped antlers have the power to bewitch those who see them. Medicine made by grinding up the black orbs from fallen antlers is an effective treatment for insomnia. I could do with some of that, because I have not been able to sleep. Alright, next card, we have a Gligar, which looks kind of like a bat that's sticking its tongue at us. Although it does say it's a fly scorpion. It flies straight at its target's face, then chomps down on the startled victim to inject poison. Oh, so it doesn't have a stinger. This one looks like this right here looks slightly different. I was kind of expecting that to be a stinger, not necessarily biting. Alright, next card. Oh, a Poliwag. You're so cute. For Poliwag, swimming is easier than walking. The swirl pattern on its belly is actually part of the Pokemon's innards showing through the skin. Ooh, again, kind of like that see-through fish. Although I think most frog eggs are like fairly see-through. Not the eggs, but tadpoles. I don't remember. Alright, next card. Phalanx. Phalanx. It's like little robots. More so than like Pokemon. 5 of them are troopers and 1 is the brass. The brass's orders are absolute. Kind of like ant type. Like a bug type. Some of them do like similarly to that. But they look like robots. More so than like actual animals. Alrighty. Next card, we have a Levdisc. I have tons of these. Levdisc makes its home in coral reefs and warm seas. It especially likes sleeping in the space between chorus branches. Right, next card, we have another Oddish. Our favorite radish. If exposed to moonlight, it starts to move. It roams far and wide at night to scatter its seeds. Next, we have a trainer, Zuzu. She's new to us. Draw cards until you have one more card in your hand than your opponent. So if your opponent hasn't been doing anything while you've just been using cards, that would be a really good card to play. Alright, next card, we have a Kirlia. There we go. If its trainer becomes happy, it overflows with energy, dancing joyously while spinning about. Alright, next card, we have the Aquilish from the Hisrai region. You can never pronounce some of these regions, so we're just going to have to go with it. Alright, fishers detest this troublesome Pokemon because it sprays poison from its spines, getting it everywhere. A different form of Quillish lives in other regions. So, gotta get all the regions, I suppose. Alright, next card. Ooh, a Skyler. This is also a pretty fun Pokemon. The large, wickedly sharp skies on its forearms are truly fearsome weapons. Prey's attempts to flee are unfailingly thwarted by this Pokemon's nibble motions. Yeah, it looks like it just took out a tree from the picture. Right, next card. The Togepi. I love Togepis. They're so adorable. Oh, it's called a spike ball. I always thought it was like an egg. This ovate creature is frequently mistaken for a moving egg when encountered out in the fields or in the mountains. This guileless smile soothes the soul. Well, at least Professor Oak agrees that it should be an egg. Although that's also what ovate means, I think. I'm actually not sure. Could be. Alright, next card. You have another Combi. Yeah, same description, so we're gonna keep moving. Next card. Ooh, a Togetic. So I think we have one more evolution of Togepi to go. Oh, and this one's just known as a happiness Pokemon. We see that it can appear before kind-hearted, caring people and shower them with kindness. Oh. Alright, next card. Ooh, spicy seasoned curry. That actually looks really good. Your active Pokemon is now burned. Heal 40 damage from it? Huh? So they are burned plus they heal. I think that's what I'm supposed to get from it. I don't know what the burned effect does, though. How it would affect it. Oh well. Next, we have another Kirlia. Next, we have a Heracross. Our fun little stag beetle, if I remember correctly. Nope, this says it's a single horn. I can never get these beetle types correct. This Pokemon has an unparalleled horn. Heracross itself demonstrates tremendous power. It's capable of throwing several people trained in the traditional arts of war at once. Well, it is about 5 feet tall and 120 pounds. I kind of expect that from most insects because they do carry some certain time more than their actual body weight. Alright, next card. We have a Teddiurza climbing on the roof of another house. It licks its paws because the sweet honey that was soaked into them. It is cunning, stealing into the nest of Combi and taking for itself the honey that the Combi has amassed. Nice. Alright, next card. We have Mantine. Is this the one that's confused for a bird, I think? This calm and gentle Pokemon swims gracefully through the sea. After building speed, it can leap out of the water. It is often misidentified as a bird Pokemon due to this behavior. Yes, I was right. Alright, next card we have, ooh, another Skyler. But this one in a different action pose. Yeah, it looks like it's just running away from this girl in the background because it doesn't want to get captured. That's kind of what it looks like. This has the same description, so I'm just going to move on. Next card, Purugly. I think that's what that is. A Purugly. To make itself appear intimidatingly beefy, it tightly clenches its waist with its twin tails. I mean, it is interesting. I wouldn't necessarily call it ugly. Although it does very much have like house cat for trying to say that it doesn't care after it broke a vase. Yeah, that's the grown up. You fed it too much house cat. Right, next card. An Uxie? I don't know, but she's very cute. It's like a knowledge Pokemon. It is said that its emergence gave humans the intelligence to improve their quality of life. Well, thank you. We definitely need more of that. Alright, next card. Ooh, Ponyta. The water illustration is like gorgeous. Yeah, no, but the water effect is beautiful. These Pokemon live in herds out in the grasslands. Newborn fowls lack their fiery manes, which will develop about an hour after birth. Well, I guess you don't want to hurt mom, so that makes sense. Alright, next card. Rowlet. Another one just dancing. I think we got this card last time. I love how cute it is. Flies noiselessly on delicate wings, it has mastered the art of deftly launching dagger-sharp feathers from those same wings. Alright, next card. A Bronzor. Looking quite scary. It actually looks very weird this time. Floats using a mysterious energy. The pattern engraved upon its back is held as sacred and can sometimes be found in imagery from ancient cemeteries and other such time-worn places. Nice. Alright, next card. We have an Ocelot, our favorite otter. Again, it has like that Kirby-ish art style. This Pokemon from the Unova region uses the shell on its belly as a weapon to cut down its foes. Thus, I conferred upon this shell the name Scallop. No, that's just what it's called. I can't tell if I think I don't know how to spell scallop or scalchop. Okay, yeah, scallop, scalchop. Professor Oak's just trying to be cute. Alright, next card. We have a Hoothoot. Continue my obsession also with owls. Alright, it always stands on one foot. It changes feet so fast the movement can rarely be seen. I actually always thought this was a one-legged Pokemon as well. So they're doing that on purpose. Great, because I always thought that was true. Alright, next card. Ooh, we have a Poison Quiver Overquill. Just an evolution of that fish we had before. It looks very ferocious. More ferocious than the other. And I'm guessing all the red around it is blood. Oh, this is a pretty dark card. Its lance-like spites and savage temperament have earned it the nickname of Sea Fiend. It slurps up poison to nourish itself. Lovely. So maybe that it looks more like blood than poison, but since it's more of a pink color, I could definitely see. Also, I thought the number that it was a number 9 on its tail, but I'm starting to think that it's a lowercase q, and then when it grows up becomes an uppercase Q. That's actually a small little detail I probably would not have noticed before. Alright, next card. Ooh, we have a trainer, a Kamado. I think that's what it is, Kamado. Choose a card in your hand and discard the other cards. If you do, draw 4 cards. If you have no other cards in your hand, you can't use this card. Accurate. I was about to ask, what if you can't do that? I need to finish reading. Alright, next card. Ooh, a knocked owl, which is the evolution of Hoot Hoot, which clearly has 2 legs. So it definitely doesn't magically grow it. Its eyes are specially developed to enable it to see clearly even in murky darkness and minimal light. You know, like an owl. Alright, next card. We have another Teddiursa. We got this one before. Alright, next card. Another Manatine. Next, we have a Husan Voltorb. I think this is also new to us. It looks more rocky. Probably because like the lines, or slightly more metallic. But it's interesting that this is a grass type. A pneumatic Pokemon that happens to bear resemblance to a Pokeball. When excited, it discharges the electric current it has stored in its belly, then lets out a great uproarious laugh. So it still talks about electricity. Interesting. It still talks about electricity, but it's considered more of a grass type. Alright, next card. We have another Heracross. Next card. A Shelgon? Yeah, a Shelgon, I think. I'm also noticing like there's 3 strikes across the dragon energy type. I don't know if that's just this card or dragon energies in general. I haven't had many dragon energies, so if it has happened before, I just don't remember it. Shelgon lives deep within caves. It stays shut up in its hard shell, dreaming of the day it will be able to fly. So yeah, so there's another evolution of this. So this is the chrysalis stage. Alright, next we have a Swablu. It constantly grooms its cotton-like wings. It takes a shower to clean itself if it becomes dirty. Alright, next card. We have another Hoppip. It drifts on winds. It is said that when Hoppip gather in fields and mountains, spring is on the way. Like a reverse groundhog. There's people like directly outside my window that I can hear. A Wob Buffet. I think that's what it says, Wob Buffet. Alright. To keep its pitch black tail hidden, it lives quietly in the darkness. It is never first to attack. Interesting. So they just hide. I wonder what's wrong with its tail. Why it doesn't like it. Alright, next card. We have a Roggenrola. Looks like a turtle, maybe? I'm getting turtle vibes. That's mantle, but I'm not too sure about that. It also gives me like the old the old storybook art style as well. When it detects a noise, it starts to move. The energy core inside it makes this Pokemon slightly warm to the touch. Interesting. Alright, next card. How about Rufflet? It is very fluffy. It's an eaglet, though. A combative Pokemon, it's ready to pick a fight with anyone. It has talons that can crush hard berries. Great. It looks happy but will destroy you. I think that's true about most animals, to be fair. Alright, next card. We have a Ribombee. I think that's what it is, a Ribombee. It's like really cute. Looks almost like more like fairy-like than bee-like. Ribombee absolutely hates getting wet or rained on. In the cloudy Galar region, they are very seldom seen. I mean, fair. Totally get that. Alright, next card. We have a Skip Bloom having the time of its life. It spreads its petals to absorb sunlight. It also floats in the air to get closer to the sun. Alright, next card. A Seedot? Yeah, I think this is Seedot. Looking like an acorn with like a metal top. It attaches itself to a tree branch using the top of its head. Strong winds can sometimes make it fall. Oh, so they can attach. Just not expecting that. Alright, next card. We have another love disc, but this is a different art style. Same description, so we're just going to move on. Next card. Bagon. This is also the de-evolution of the one before, and there's also these scratch marks again. But it looks more like a children's show dragon than something that would become a flying whatever. Some theories suggest that its behavior of forceful blasting its head into things stimulates cells that affects its evolution. Interesting. Sounds cool though. Alright, next on card we have a Tentacool looking very vicious. Like, it looks like it's up to something. It's up to no good. Its body is 99% water. The remaining 1% contains the organs that make its poison. Then how does it reproduce if it's just water? They just spawn, I suppose. Alright, next card. We have a Shinx that is doing a handstand just to prove that it is better than you. All of its fur dazzles if danger is sensed. It flees while the foe is momentarily blinded. Right, next card. Cacnea. This one looks slightly weird because it's like half shadow. Again, it looks like it's up to something. It prefers harsh environments such as deserts that can survive for 30 days on water stored in its body. Right, next card. A Pawninard, which is another Pokemon up to no good. A pack of these Pokemon forms to serve a Bisharp boss. Each Pawninard trains diligently, dreaming of one day taking the lead. I think I mentioned once that they kind of sound like hollows from Bleach. Alright, next card. We have Timber. Hard at work. Timber that have started carrying laws that are about 3 times their size are nearly ready to evolve. Alright, next card. Tepig. I think it's a Tepig. Looks like it's having fun though. It loves to eat roasted berries, but sometimes it gets too excited and burns them to a crisp. Oh, it's actually really adorable. Alright, next card. Heliotile. I think that's how I pronounce it. A Heliotile. It looks like it's skipping and doing that thing where it jumps up and clacks its feet together. That's what this picture looks like. One Spread. The frills on its head act like solar panels, generating the power behind this Pokemon's electric moves. I don't really see a panel from this picture. Maybe from an image from the backside. Alright, next card. A Scarelp. Again, up to no good. And in that sort of old-time Japanese art style. It drifts in the ocean, blending in with floating seaweed. When other Pokemon come to feast on the seaweed, Scarelp feast on them instead. Oh, great. Alright, next card. We have a Grubbin. Super cute. It uses its big jaws to dig nests into the forest floor, and it loves to feed on sweet tree sap. Alright, next card. We have Alexia that's trying to hoard all the plushies. Sharp electricity courses through the tips of its sharp claws. A light scratch causes fainting in foes. Alright, next card, we have a Metang. I think this might be the first Metang. We definitely get the Beldum a lot, I think. Two Beldum have become stuck together via their own magnetic forces. With two brains, the resulting Metang have doubled its psychic power. Yeah, this sounds familiar, so maybe we have had it before and I'm just have terrible memory. Right, next card. Ooh, a Dusclops. Super spooky. I love it. Alright, its body is entirely hollow. When it opens its mouth, it sucks everything in as if it were a black hole. So kind of like Gluttony from Fullmetal Alchemist. Alright, next card, we have an Oddish. If exposed to moonlight... Oh, we've read this description before. But it is a new picture, so definitely. Alright, next card. We have a seal. Thanks to it, excuse me. Thanks to its thick, fat, cold seas don't bother it at all, but it gets tired pretty easily in warm waters. Totally get that, buddy. Alright, next card. Ooh, a potion. That looks like a spray bottle. That is a spray bottle, not a potion bottle. Heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. Alright, next card. We have Aaron. Little Dalmatian puppy. It eats iron ore and sometimes railroad tracks to build up the steel armor that protects its body. Oh, it's still super cute. Alright, next card we have a Corfish. I think Corfish. A little crab. No matter how dirty the water in the river, it will adapt and thrive. It has a strong will to survive. Nice. Okay, next card. Ooh, Larion? I think it's Larion. It's the evolution of Aaron. I do enjoy the art. Kind of like an old video gamey, I think. Larion live in mountains brimming with spring water and iron ore, so these Pokemon often came into conflict with humans in the past. Understandable. We are getting in their way. Alright, next card. Ooh, a Great Ball. You have a couple of these. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Pokemon you find there and put it into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Alright, next card. We have a Cricket Tot. Looks like a Cricket Tot. Has a very regal sense to it. When its antennae hit each other, it sounds like the music of a xylophone. Alright, next card. We have another Shinx. This one hiding what it's reading. I don't think we've read this description before. All of its fur dazzles with dangerous scents. It flees while the foe is momentarily blinded. Alright, next card. Ooh, a Galarian Mr. Mime. Never seen this one before. It can radiate chilliness from the bottoms of its feet. It spends the whole day tap dancing on a frozen floor. Sounds like Mr. Snow Miser, to be honest. That's all I'm getting from it, Snow Miser. Alright, next card. Ooh, a Sunkern. That definitely has the gigantic anime eyes. It lives by drinking only dewdrops from under the leaves of plants. It is said that it eats nothing else. I mean, it is a baby. Alright, next card. Coughing. Everyone. Something. It sounds terrible, but it's also like something that I'm like, if it eats pollution, I would be fine with it. But it sounds like it just spreads it even more. I don't know. It adores polluted air. Some claim that coughing can be used more plentiful in the Galar region than they are now. So maybe it's able to dispose of pollution? That'd be a really cool thing, and I wonder how it would evolve to do that. Probably with humans around, because I doubt with much of like the industrialization, before industrialization, it would have had much use for that evolutionary trait. And here I am taking a game way too seriously again, but that's the fun I have. Alright, next card. Have another Aaron. Next card. Ooh, a Railu. Or a Railu. I never know. It's exceedingly energetic, with enough stamina to keep running all through the night. Taking it for walks can be a challenging experience. Alright, next card. Ooh, a Starly. A flock of Starly. They flock around mountains and fields, chasing after bug Pokémon. Their singing is noisy and annoying. Also, is there really a bug type thing in the card game like there is in the RPGs? Because there's definitely was like Caterpie to Butterfree, for example, were definitely like bug type. But I don't think in the card game there's necessarily bug type. So that is also an interesting difference I've noticed between the RPGs and turning it into a card game. Alright, next card. Oh, we have another Skyther. That new art. I'm always happy with new art. Oh, this is a different description though. As Skyther fights more and more battles, its skies become sharper and sharper. With a single slice, Skyther can fell a massive tree. I think one of the first art styles it did take down a tree, so it sounds like that one might have been more appropriate for that card. Alright, next we have a Pokeball. Flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. And if it's tails, sucks to suck. Alright, next card. We have a Lickitung. I am slightly losing my voice, but you don't have too many more cards to go. If this Pokemon Sticky's alive and gets on you and you don't clean it off, an intense itch will set in. The itch won't go away either. So immediately shower is what I'm getting from that. Alright, next we have a Floette. It gives its own power to flowers, pouring its heart into caring for them. Floette never forgives anyone who messes up a flower bed. That reminds me of so in the Wizard of Oz, in I want to say the 7th book, but it's definitely a later book. There's these evil, torturous flowers that try and kill Dorothy and the gang. And that's kind of what that reminds me of. And it was like because the wrong flower was pulled or like unearthed, the flowers tried to kill Dorothy and the gang. If I remember it correctly, it was really weird. Alright, next card. We have another Kirilla. Been a while since we've seen that one. Well, today. Right, next card. A Glameow. I think this is the de-evolution of the Per Ugly we saw earlier, if my memory is correct. But this one's just hanging out outside, having fun. Bewitches humans with its helical tail and piercing gaze. Its hidden claws are quite sharp as well, making the Pokémon an exceedingly tricky Pokémon if antagonized. And then when it grows older, it wants to be an inside cat, apparently. It's also a catty Pokemon rather than cat or kitty. That's interesting. Alright, next card. A Swinob. These are also a couple of my favorite pigs. I love pigs. Swebnub excels at sniffing out mushrooms buried beneath grass or snow. Since ancient times, the people of Hisu, I have no clue, have often relied upon the skill. So it goat hunts for truffles. Okay, another thing I'm noticing looking closer at these cards, I think I noticed it a couple of times, but there's something going on with that volcano. I think I saw it in a couple of previous cards, but yeah, there's something weird going on with some of these volcanoes in these regions. Alright, next card. You have another Chatot. I don't think we had this description. It's also was the first card, and it's been about 40 minutes, so I'll read it again. A versatile performer skilled in the imitation of human speech. It is said that older, more experienced Chatot can even understand the meaning of words they mimic. Alright, next card. Another Teddy Ursa. Alright, next, a Manatee. Next, ooh, a Bronzong. I think we've had this one way previously, but it's just really cool. Some believe it can be a deity that summons rain clouds. When angered, it lets out a warning cry that rings out like the tolling of a bell. Alright, I believe we have 5 more cards left. So next card, ooh, a special Electrode, also grass type, interestingly enough. The tissue on the surface of its body is curiously smaller in composition to an apricorn. When irritated, this Pokemon lets loose a electrical current equal to 20 lightning bolts. That's also horrifying. And it also has those weird lines. It's probably way hard to see. Lines on it, like the Voltorb. So definitely, probably a new type. Alright, next we have a DeWalt. It's just lazing around still with his Scalchop. I hope it still says Calchop. It does. Its exquisite double Calchop technique is likely the result of daily training and can send even masters of the blade fleeing in defeat. While you were studying the blade, he was studying this Calchop. Alright, next card. You have another Bergamite. Next card. Ooh, a different Rufflet. This one's just hanging out. Its chick-like look belies its hot-headedness. It challenges its parent at every opportunity, desperate to prove its strength. I've seen some, I think, dogs like that. It's really adorable, especially because they always lose. until like one of the parents gets annoyed and it's just like, oh, I lost. It's adorable. Alright, last but certainly not least, we have another Ponyta. And again, I love the art style of the water. It's just so gorgeous. So I have this gigantic stack of cards to go through later. Um, but I'm honestly enjoying this. It's just like there's so much science you can put into it, so much game, especially with like the trainer cards. There's just like so much strategy I can visualize going on, even if I have like no one to play with me. I'm just super interested about the world, and probably I'm going to get back into the anime and the games just so that I can actually really embrace the world. I'm like really interested in a scientific, like a fake scientific way. Really interested in that way. Really interested in a gameplay way in both the card game and the RPG. And I just love a good travel story. And probably will get around to watching the anime again eventually. It's been years since I even wanted to watch the anime, but I kind of really want to watch the anime now. So I may do that once I get past a couple of the shows I'm currently watching. But I had an amazing time either way. Um, and again, I have lots more to go through, and I can't wait to do that with you guys. But yeah, so I will see you guys later. Bye.